What was that? Ah, so much hope. So much hope going into this one. You know, I fantasize sometimes maybe a little too much about the Raptors stopping Luka's 30-point streak. Continuing our momentum of, maybe we could have won this one by 50. I mean, obviously, I wasn't really thinking we would win by 50 against Dallas, but I can dream. Unfortunately, the dream turned into a little bit of a nightmare. I mean, luckily we came back. It was looking horrible for, I don't know, most of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter. But yeah, started pecking away. Obviously, Pascal going down was not good, except I don't know why he only had 1 point in the third quarter. I mean, obviously they were double teaming him and he was dishing it out and etc. But Pascal. But yeah, not fun, not fun. I mean, we made it close, but Luka Doncic. I don't know. Can we say the same things about him that he was spouting off to get that technical foul? He was pretty pissed there, but yeah. Anyway, this guy is frustrating. And unfortunately, you see some of the little plays, early in the game. Like, I don't know, I do have a top five, even though it's depressing to even talk about a top five plays of the game when this is the final result. But hey, let's just talk about quickly some of the performances. Precious Achua, I don't know what. I know he's been cold, but he's cold at the wrong times. Like, I mean, sorry, I got too many thoughts bombarding my head here. Let's just calm down. Early in the game, Precious missing easy shots that he normally takes or hits, missing threes. One of the times we kind of had some momentum going, catching up. I think it was when we were putting it within, like within 10 and maybe 9, I think. Precious bounces it off his foot when he's dribbling in. Anyway, hopefully this was a learning experience for our young team. It's actually funny. They were referencing the Raptors as a veteran team when we were playing San Antonio the other day. I start cracking up saying, veterans? We got a bunch of people that are 21, 22, 23 that are important players. Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, Precious. Obviously, Koloko is crazy young, but Delano Banton, young guy. We really only have, obviously we have Thad, and we have Otto Porter Jr., which, speaking of, Thad, by the way, actually one of the great plays was that cut that Thaddeus Young made. It was totally unexpected. We kicked it to the corner, and then you thought that, maybe Barnes was going to try and shoot it, but Thad just had a nice cut. Barnes did one of his electro passes into there, and he had a nice dunk. But Otto Porter Jr., if you look back, not that you would necessarily want to go back to previous videos, but I was excited thinking about what is this guy going to bring to the team, because we were doing pretty well, without him, and thinking an extra threat from three would be just what the doctor ordered. But I don't know. Otto Porter Jr., does he think that like he's on vacation or something? Maybe that's a little harsh, but man, I don't know. He's like laughing it up out there. He's losing the rebound out of bounds and laughing with Thad Young. And I see him a little bit of effort on D, but he seems to want to just sort of stand in the key and make sure that he's not, violating the 3-second rule. Moving back and forth. I mean, has he hit? Again, maybe I have to go back and look at some of his actual stats from Golden State last year. But he thinks, what, I got a ring last year, and now I'm going up to mail it in Toronto because my I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife from Toronto, and she probably said I'm going up to Canada to have the baby because number one, I'm getting free health care, and number two, although Not that Otto Porter Jr. couldn't afford the health care. Of course he could. But number two, I'm getting a year off, or I think we even have 15 months now, or something like that up here, as opposed to the 2 weeks or whatever it is, 3 months you get in the States for maternity leave. But anyway, I'm totally off on a tangent. But man, this guy, I expected more from this guy. Like maybe Nick Nurse isn't able to draw up plays. It looked like a couple of times they tried to work a play into Otto Porter towards the end there, and then the defense just anticipated it and got there. Sure, obviously you can't help those ones, but this guy's supposed to be a 3 point assassin. He's like 43, 45% or something from three. Let's get the man the ball. Some open looks so we can hit some threes. Instead, he's, I don't know, lollygagging around. Again, I saw maybe one, two decent defensive plays where he seemed to go after it, but maybe again, he's just, season just started, and yes, he's coming off an injury, and then he had the baby or whatever, and maybe the baby's keeping him up at night. Don't know. My kids both slept through the night, lucky me. But man, anyway, expected more out of him. Pascal going down and not good, obviously, to not have him, towards the end. I actually flipped over to the U.S., the Dallas broadcast on my League Pass, and it's funny, they commented over and over again with Fred VanVleet not in the lineup as well, so Toronto was missing two of their main players down in the fourth quarter with Pascal out and Fred not being there. I was sort of chuckling to myself because I've been secretly kind of liking the Fredless team for the length and everything, but this is one of those games where we could have used Freddie. We could have used steady Freddie. He would have probably hit a 3 or 2 for us and snuck up on Luka Doncic and just pulled the ball out of his hand once or twice because it was nice that OG hit that 3 at the end, and there were a couple of other positives, but overall depressing. I hate when they lose. I hate when they lose such a game that high-ish profile, nice test game. Get to stop Dallas. I mean, maybe when Dallas is in Toronto, because they certainly had the crowd going, especially after one of the plays. So anyway, let's jump into the top five, and we can wrap this sucker up from a lost night for the Toronto Raptors, which sucks, as you know. So yeah, we'll try and rattle through these semi-quickly. As my number 5 play of the game, it was a Pascal Siakam blow-by. It was really sweet. Went to the left. I should, I guess, I've got some of the scores that they end up at, but maybe I should mark these in the game. I don't know. I have the tech, obviously. As you can see, my beginner setup here. I don't even have my Raptors paraphernalia up on the wall yet, which is coming. It's just right over there. My wife keeps threatening that she's going to help me set this sucker up, but anyway, yeah, I can't show any sort of replays, or I have no idea how to do that. I'm learning. I'm going to figure it out, and maybe someday we'll have some. I'm also not sure of the rules. Am I allowed to even show highlights on here? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to have to do some research, but yeah, Pascal blow by. My number 5 play was left side. It was a fantastic. It was really unexpected. He was sort of dribbling, and then he just like burst of speed, went past the guy, and was fantastic. For my number 4 play, I've got it was a sweet block on Luka Doncic by none other than the Slim Duck, Chris Boucher, who, funny enough, I mentioned I switched over to the U.S. broadcast. They were really giving praise to Chris Boucher. They were. I mean, I know he played really well, and especially had to kind of get some extra minutes there filling in for Pascal when he didn't come back from the groin. But yeah, they were really complimentary, just commenting that he had been, an MVP and a defensive player of the year in the G League, and talking about where he was born and that he grew up in Montreal. And anyway, they really went sort of off on a tangent on him in that fourth quarter, which was nice to see. That's why I flip over to the U.S. broadcast. As much as I miss Jack saying get that garbage out of here, it's sometimes fun to flip over to the U.S. broadcast and hear them surprised always by the Raptors doing well. It's even better when the Raptors win. But anyway, Okay, so for my number three play, it was an OG and an OB dunk. Man, I think, well, no, sorry, I know because I made a little note that it was to get the score to 48. And so if you're flipping over to the Raptor highlights, you're going to see it there when because I'm sure this one will be on there. OG just power dunked. It was like a two hand to make it 48. So, yeah, that is my play three. Play number two was Precious Achua finally hitting a three because after having a disappointing game to make it 97. So in the last stretch, it was even the whole series was actually it wasn't just the three. I think it was OG brought it in, kind of gave a nice dish to Scotty Barnes, and he just turned and fired it out to Precious Achua, who was wide open. So he should have hit the three. But it was a great play because obviously Dallas was not expecting that. They were trying to clog up the paint, to block. I think OG was doing one of his sort of wraparound, dribble in plays, and yeah, they nicely read that and kicked it out to Precious, who hit the three to make it 97. And then this is very very even sad for me to say out loud, but because usually I'm looking at the Raptors' top five plays, not necessarily the top five plays of the entire game, but this one stood out. Go watch it yourself. I'm sure it's going to be on all the highlight reels tonight. SportsCenter is probably showing it right this second. Luka Doncic, sadly, is my number one play of the game. This guy, I don't know what the hell was going on. In fact, I probably even need to go look at it. I mean, they showed it a few times, especially as I said, I switched over to the Dallas broadcast, so they did a whole little highlight package on Luka for the whole game. But yeah, wow, what the heck was that? Where he's dribbling in and out and back and forth and turning and through his legs and behind his back, and then he turns around and he kind of moves in, and you think he's gonna push into the defender, and he does one last little deke where he's like taking it out and turns at the last second and does the highest rainbow shot into the net, and he falls on the ground and hits a freaking that was my lowest moment of the game for me, and but sadly one of the highlights. I mean, one nice thing is that it seemed to get Scotty Barnes suddenly snapping into the game. I didn't realize really. I mean, obviously I was watching, but he didn't have points until towards the end. It might have even been the fourth quarter that he scored his first points, and then suddenly he was trying to do all the shimmy shamming in and out dribble madness. But yeah, Luka Doncic, ridiculous, redonkulous. Very depressing, very sad game. When I had high hopes, I wanted to put that little white boy in his place. You know what I'm saying? Am I allowed to say that since I'm a white guy? Anyway, I don't know. Who cares? I'm just kidding around anyway. So, yeah, Raptors lose. Totally crappy. Brutal way to start the weekend. But I'm out. Happy Friday. Maybe we'll have better results. Well, no, we will have better results on Sunday, even though the final score makes this game look a little bit closer than it was. Just being 1 point, but I don't know. I don't know. I wonder would I look good in blue? Just kidding. Screw Dallas. I'm not switching allegiances. Raptors, thanks for watching this long. Subscribe, tell a friend, hit a like, even just a comment. You don't have to like it. You can tell me that it sucks. I'd love to hear from you. This video sucks. If I could see that as a comment, it'll make me sad, but I will also laugh. So it's kind of weird to be sad and happy in the same moment, but that's truly what would likely happen. And I'll be overjoyed that there's a comment, and maybe it'll kick it out to another person, because I think my max video is like 22 views, and probably me rambling on off the subject like this is not helping me. So, as I say, Mr. Beast for president. We need to start this movement. Let's get him in there. Let's get him into office. He's probably too young to run now, but I've heard the man say that he will someday. as he gives away all of his possessions. What more could we want as a person this laser focused to be the president of the United States? Mr. Beast. Thank you all. Till Sunday. We're out.